Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today is the 1st of July 2026. Now so far as the month of June is concerned, Satoshi, things were definitely not looking great for the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And so far as ETF is concerned, there was record ETF outflows in the month of June, and these ETF outflows, Satoshi, total $4.5 billion. So looks like a lot of investor sentiment regarding cryptocurrency ETF has definitely been hampered, isn't it? Now it's going to be really interesting to see what July has in store for us. Now unfortunately, Satoshi, the global cryptocurrency market isn't looking great. It is hovering around the $2 trillion mark. But here's the thing, guys. Right now there's agreement going on between Iran and US, and hopefully we do get some positive news. And am I right in saying, Satoshi, if we do get any positive news around Iran, things might reflect positively for the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies?
You're absolutely right, George. That sentiment is certainly being felt. When you look at that $4.5 billion outflow, it really paints a clear picture of the caution in the market right now. And yes, any positive developments on the geopolitical front, like what you mentioned with Iran and the US, could definitely shift things positively. It really highlights how sensitive the market is to news of stability.
And right now, because of the Iran agreement, Satoshi, Straits of Hormuz is opened as well. And as of 30th of June 2026, guys, roughly around 45 to 55 commercial ships have actually passed. But it is important to note, guys, the number of ships that are passing through Straits of Hormuz is relatively less. In 2025, I believe there was 130 ships passing, isn't it? But here's the thing, guys. As and when we get any update regarding Iranian-US conflict, and right now JD Vance, along with Jared Kushner and officials from Iran, they are having a meeting in Qatar. So definitely keep an eye on geopolitical news, because news such as this will directly be impacting the oil prices, which in turn impacts inflation, and that directly impacts the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And I cannot stress this enough, guys. It is important that we gotta look at official sources. Now in the Blockchain DXB podcast, we'll try our level best to go ahead and update you listeners. Now we do have some really interesting news, Satoshi, to cover in today's episode. The first news we're going to be talking about is regarding a stablecoin. But here's the interesting thing, guys. There are 140 companies involved, and this particular project is called as OpenUSD stablecoin. And it is essentially a new US dollar pegged stablecoin that is launched by a consortium of 140 companies. This, according to me, Satoshi, is a massive deal, isn't it? So in today's episode, we'll definitely go ahead and take a deep dive into this. Now, do you want to very briefly tell our listeners, Satoshi, the impact of such a massive news? And later on in today's episode, we'll go ahead and give out more information regarding it, alright?
Exactly, George. That OpenUSD stablecoin project with 140 companies behind it is massive. It could really provide a boost of confidence and liquidity to the market, showing that kind of institutional commitment. And you're right, watching those geopolitical updates, especially around the Straits of Hormuz, is key because commerce there directly impacts oil prices, which affect inflation and ultimately the crypto market. We'll definitely dive into that more.
Definitely will, Satoshi. Now the next news, Satoshi, we're going to be talking about is connected to United Arab Emirates, and this is with the Emirate of Ras Al Khaimah, and one of the companies called as Goldman. They have acquired a staggering $137 million worth of Bitcoin. So we'll definitely go ahead and discuss the importance of this news. Now the third news, Satoshi, we're going to be talking about is connected to Nasdaq. And here's the thing, guys. They have decided to join Pit Network, and this is more connected to data marketplaces. So we'll go ahead and explore what this news is all about. Now the final news today, Satoshi, is a really interesting news, and this is connected to MetaMask. And check this out, guys. They have decided to launch money market, and they're doing that with stablecoin yield. Now so far as MetaMask is concerned, they are kind of the OGs in the world of wallet, and they are developed by a team of Consensus, and the CEO of Consensus, that is Joseph Lubin. He's an iconic person in the cryptocurrency space. So all of these news, Satoshi, does reflect a positive momentum in the cryptocurrency space, isn't it?
It certainly does, George. That Goldman acquisition of $137 million worth of Bitcoin is big news for the UAE, showing substantial conviction in the asset. And Nasdaq joining Pit Network for data marketplaces is another sign of traditional finance embracing blockchain, which is great for the sector. Plus, MetaMask pushing into money markets with stablecoin yield, led by a key player like Joseph Lubin, really shows the continued innovation in DeFi. Overall, things definitely look promising.
Things are definitely looking promising, but unfortunately, Satoshi, the volume of decentralized finance has actually gone from bad to worse. But we'll definitely go ahead and delve deeper into that. But before that, Satoshi, what I want you to do is, I want you to tell our listeners what are the two news you're going to be discussing later on in today's episode. Cause in the Blockchain DXB podcast, we tend to look at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East, isn't it?
Certainly, George. First up, we'll be discussing the partnership between Magna AI and Emaar Al Barouj Executive Company to build sovereign AI data center infrastructure in Saudi Arabia. Next, we'll cover how the Abu Dhabi Judicial Department is exploring innovative AI projects to improve judicial services. Big news from the region.
Very true, Satoshi. Definitely major news on the region. So it looks like, guys, we have quite a lot of interesting things to cover in today's episode. But before we do that, a quick word from our sponsors. Hey everyone, this episode is powered by a new sponsor, that is Amana, and they are the region's first and fastest growing regulated all-in-one trading and investing app. So look, guys, whether you're looking into invest in US stocks like Apple or Tesla, or mega giants like ADNOC or Salik, Amana puts the financial markets on your fingertips. It includes gold, foreign exchange, ETFs, futures, commodities, and guess what, guys? They have over 375 cryptocurrencies, and this makes them the biggest crypto selection in the region. Now for the Blockchain DXB listeners, guys, if you want to go and build long-term wealth without thinking about it every day, explore Amana's pre-built auto investment plans, and all you have to do is set your monthly budget, choose your preferred asset category, and let Amana automate the investing for you. Zero fees, zero lockups, 100% customizable. And here's the thing, guys, funding your account is easier than ever. You can fund your account with Apple Pay, Google Pay, credit cards, instant bank deposits, and even crypto wallets. No friction and no hassles. And the best part is, guys, let's say if you need support, you would absolutely love Amana for this, because they offer 24/6 human customer service, as well as a personalized sales support, real people, real help, and the customer support is in English as well as in Arabic. And for the Blockchain DXB listener and community, guys, I do have something really exclusive for you. What you can do is register with Amana using the code Blockchain DXB, or you can also use the link that is in the show notes below. And here's the best part, guys. Once you register, fund your account with a minimum of $100 and at least go ahead and make one trade, and then you'll receive a $100 trading bonus credit to your account the following month. But look, guys, it's real important to note, the bonus is non-withdrawable. It is there to help you trade and learn. So look, guys, if you're looking for a transparent, powerful and easy to use app, that's Amana for you. So what are you waiting for, guys? Download the app now, or you can also visit the website that is amana.app, and don't forget to use the code Blockchain DXB. And Amana, guys, is all markets one app. Next, guys, I'm happy to announce that Blockchain DXB is the official media partner with one of the OGs in the cryptocurrency and blockchain event space, and that is Blockchain Futuristic Conference taking place in Florida this year, as well as ETH Women taking place simultaneously. And trust me, guys, this is an event that you don't want to miss, isn't it? Because for the very first time, North America's most immersive Web3 event is heading to the United States of America, and the Blockchain Futurist Conference and ETH Women event is actually taking place between the 5th and 6th of November. And the location is absolutely stunning, guys. It is taking place at Guitar Hotel at Hard Rock, which is in Hollywood, Florida. That's right, guys. Palm trees, panels, and the biggest mind in blockchain and cryptocurrencies all in one place. So there will be multi-stage panels, NFT galleries, DeFi showcases, hand-on tech demos, metaverse experiences, even outdoor VIP cabanas, and quite a lot more. And the Guitar Hotel at Hard Rock, guys, is one of the most iconic venues in the country. So look, guys, if you're in the Web3 space, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, or even artificial intelligence space, or just want to do some serious networking, this is the place that you got to be. And to all of you Blockchain DXB listeners, guys, we have something really interesting for you, because you can get a 25% off the tickets. So just use the code DXB25, and the link to the event as well as the code is in the show notes below. And as an official media partner, I'll be doing exclusive live coverage, interviews, behind the scenes access, and I will be spotlighting some of the most exciting projects shaping the future of decentralized finance tech. So if you're at the venue, guys, definitely come and say hi. Maybe we can catch up for a coffee as well. So listen, guys, the code is DXB25, and by using this code you will be eligible for a 25% discount. And the event is taking place between the 5th and 6th of November 2025 at the iconic Guitar Hotel at Hard Rock, that is in Hollywood, Florida. And in the show notes below, guys, there's all contact details for Blockchain Futuristic Conference Florida 2025, as well as ETH Women. And look, guys, this is the future of blockchain technology brought into life, so don't just read about it. Be there and head to the website that is futuristconference.com and go ahead and use the code DXB25. So see you at the event. Next, advanced media. Advanced Media, guys, is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact, guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well, and Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing, guys, they're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously, and they're focusing on 3 P's, that is people, planet and prosperity. Now listen, guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing, guys, they also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so, guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE, so definitely check it out. And also, guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing and hosting training workshops, seminars and community events that educate, inform and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen, guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store, that App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gulf Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs, and these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform, check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below.
Now, guys, since you're taking care of that, let's quickly run to the global cryptocurrency market. Now, the global cryptocurrency market, guys, is hovering around the $2 trillion mark, $2.11 trillion to be precise. And crazily enough, guys, the global cryptocurrency market is actually down by 2.6%. And if you look at the 24-hour volume, it is only at $76.90 billion. And as we talked about the matrix that is connected to decentralized exchange Satoshi, the numbers are absolutely horrendous. The 24-hour volume is only at $6.43 billion. And the total fees connected for these transactions is well below the $60 million mark. It is only at $58.55 million. and the total value locked is also on a downtrend. It is below the $70 billion mark, $69.37 billion to be precise. But here's a crazy thing, Satoshi. The outflows in the world of crypto ETF has continued, and we do have a staggering amount of outflows, and the outflows is accounting to $253.3 million. Now let me know, Satoshi, if you agree to my assessment. The only reason why there's outflows in the world of crypto ETF is because a lot of investor sentiment is connected to the negotiations that are currently taking place in Qatar, because JD Vance, Jared Kushner, along with officials from Iran, they do have an emergency meeting in Qatar. Now look, I do think that this particular meeting will be positive, but because of uncertainty regarding that, the market sentiment is impacted, isn't it?
I absolutely agree with your assessment, George. The market dislikes uncertainty more than anything, and those emergency meetings in Qatar represent a significant factor. While the potential for positive news is there, the lack of resolution causes fear, prompting some investors to pull out, which explains those outflows. Investor sentiment is definitely closely tied to those geopolitical developments. We'll need to keep a close watch on them.
And I cannot stress this enough, guys. Mainstream media is suffering from TDS or Trump derangement syndrome, and they often put out misleading information. So it is important that we go to look at information from official sources. Now we'll definitely go and update our listeners as and when we get any official news. But what I want you to do next, Satoshi, is I want you to read out matrix connected to decentralized exchanges. So why don't you do one thing? Why don't you read out the matrix of the top 5 platform for our listeners, please?
Certainly, George. The 24-hour volume for the top 5 platforms is as follows. Uniswap had $1.35 billion, PancakeSwap $785.14 million, Pump at $510.91 million, BisonFi $469.68 million, and Aerodrome $406.12 million. It shows a significant spread in activity.
It definitely shows significant spread, but the numbers are absolutely horrendous, isn't it? Going back to 2020 and before that, Satoshi, on an average given day, the 24-hour volume of decentralized exchange used to hover somewhere between the $12 to $14 billion mark. On certain days, it used to cross the $20 billion mark as well. And am I right in saying now this particular matrix should be higher than that, around the $30 billion mark? Because now people are aware about decentralized exchanges, isn't it? So keeping that thing in mind, I do think that the numbers are absolutely dreadful.
You're spot on, George. Given how much decentralized finance has grown and how much more mainstream awareness there is, you'd expect those volumes to be much higher than that 12 to 14 billion mark from a few years ago. Seeing these current numbers, like Uniswap's 1.35 billion, really emphasizes how significantly the trading volume has fallen off, making the current figures seem, as you said, quite dismal.
Yup, say correct, Satoshi, and going back to 2020 and 2021, the numbers were almost triple of what it is. Now what I'm really not liking since the last 24 hours is the volume of stablecoins, and Tether USDT's volume, guys, is down to $65.43 billion. Circle USDC is at number 2nd, and its volume is at $12.21 billion, and at number 3rd is FDUSD with a 24-hour volume of $182.63 million. Now what I want you to do next, Satoshi, is I want you to read out the market cap, 24-hour trading volume and dominance of Bitcoin, and do the same thing for Ethereum as well as Binance BNB Coin for our listeners, please.
Certainly, George. Beginning with Bitcoin, the market cap is $1.17 trillion. The 24-hour trading volume is $32.57 billion, with dominance at 56.20%. For Ethereum, the market cap is $189.39 billion. The 24-hour trading volume is $9.95 billion, and dominance is 9.01%. And for Binance Coin, the market cap is $73.33 billion. The 24-hour trading volume is $1.10 billion.
Well, thank you so much for the information, Satoshi. Now what I want you to do next is, I want you to read out matrix that is connected to the United States of America. And on the 4th of July is going to be the 250th year of independence, isn't it? So why don't you do one thing, Satoshi? Why don't you read out the matrix that is connected to US coins?
Certainly, George. For U.S. coins, the total market cap is $265 billion, which represents a minus 1.8% change in the last 24 hours. Looking at specific coins, Circle USDC has a market cap of $73.37 billion. Ripple XRP is at $64.29 billion. Solana at $42.52 billion. Figure HELOC at $19.60 billion. And Zcash at $6.63 billion. It's quite a range in valuation among those top projects.
It definitely is, and thank you so much for that. Now let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go and look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. So why don't you tell our listeners what is going on regarding Bitcoin? Tell our listeners the price, what is going on since the last 24 hours and 7 days, and do the same thing for Ethereum as well as Binance BNB Coin for our listeners, please.
Certainly, George. For Bitcoin, the price is currently $58,476, showing a minus 2.90% change over the last 24 hours and a minus 5.78% change over 7 days. For Ethereum, the price is $1,569 with a minus 2.70% 24-hour change and a minus 6.39% change over the last week. And for Binance Coin, the price is $544, reflecting a minus 2.72% 24-hour change and a minus 5.55% change over 7 days. There's general downward pressure across the board.
It definitely is, but what advice you'd like to give to our listeners, Satoshi, to keep an eye on regarding the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies? I would recommend listeners to go ahead and look at official sources, keeping in mind the US-Iran conflict that is going on. And as we talked about earlier, Satoshi, they do have a meeting in Qatar, but here's the thing, guys. Mainstream media, they go ahead and put out a completely different narrative. 90% of the information is fake news, and whether we like it or not, it is the fake news that does actually drive the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, isn't it? So I'm right in saying, Satoshi, we should be looking at official sources, but unfortunately, market is reacting to the narrative that mainstream media goes with as well, isn't it?
You're absolutely right, George. Considering the influence of the broader narrative, my advice would be to always check official project channels and reputable data sources, rather than relying solely on headlines. It's crucial to cross-reference to get a more complete picture.
That is absolutely correct, Satoshi, and we've said this so many times. Go ahead and follow President Donald Trump via Truth Social. Go ahead and follow JD Vance along with Jared Kushner. And they're quite active on X and they're doing quite a lot of interviews. Go ahead and follow President of Iran as well as the Foreign Minister of Iran via X, and also the Prime Minister of Pakistan via X. And then also follow CENTCOM, because they are the ones who are spearheading the military initiative. Now, because of all of this drama, Satoshi, the Straits of Hormuz was impacted. But here's the thing, guys. The moment we get any clarity, more ships will be passing, which will directly be impacting inflation. And based on inflation data, at the FOMC announcement, the new Federal Chair, that is Kevin Walsh, will be making a decision whether to reduce the interest rate, keep it the same or increase it. Now, as and when news develops, we'll definitely go ahead and update our listeners regarding this. But let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go ahead and discuss OpenUSD. And the news cards OpenUSD with the ticker symbol of OUSD is a new dollar-backed stablecoin launched by Visa, MasterCard, Stripe, Coinbase, BlackRock, as well as 140 other companies. And what is really interesting to know, Satoshi, is that this particular stablecoin offers free minting and redemption, share reserve earnings with participating businesses, and is governed by an independent organization rather than a single issuer. And here's the thing, guys, OpenUSD aims to make global payments faster, cheaper, and more accessible while giving business greater control over the network. Now, regarding the launch of the stablecoin, they expected to launch later in 2026 across multiple blockchains such as Solana, Stellar, Base, as well as Polygon. Now, what do you make of this OpenUSD, Satoshi? I think it's a mixture of great news as well as bad news. Now, the only reason why I'm saying it is bad news is because looks like this is a consortium, but the reason why it is positive is because the consortium is open to 140 companies, isn't it? So you can make an argument it is fairly distributed or decentralized as well, isn't it?
I do agree, George. The backing from those major companies is definitely positive because it suggests stability and adoption. Having it governed independently also helps. The bad part, potentially, is just the scale of the consortium. Sometimes coordinating among that many partners can be complex. Overall, it seems like an ambitious project with a lot of support. We'll have to see how the details develop before its launch.
Now, do you think, Satoshi, the fact that it is a consortium, it is kind of working similar to a banking industry? That is a big red flag if it does do that, isn't it?
You make a valid point about the consortium potentially resembling traditional banking structures. That could be seen as a positive for stability, but also raise concerns about centralization and control. Those are competing perspectives on large-scale collaborations.
But the fact, Satoshi, there are 140 companies involved, you can make an argument it is more distributed or decentralized than some of the so-called blockchain projects as well, isn't it?
That's certainly a valid point. The sheer number of participants does create a wider distribution of involvement. which can be seen as a form of decentralization compared to projects with a smaller group of decision makers. It presents an interesting model within the broader crypto space.
Now look, Satoshi, if you actually go to the website, it does actually state there are key decision principles regarding this particular initiative. Firstly, they want to build on scale, and by doing that, businesses can mint and redeem open USD at absolutely no cost and with no artificial limits on volumes. The second one is earned by default, and here's the thing, guys. Partners receive all of the earnings on OpenUSD's reserves, less a small management fee to cover OpenUSD's operational cost. And thirdly, guys, it talks about govern collaboratively, and OpenUSD will be operated by Open Standard, which is an independent company with a board made up of OpenUSD's partners, thereby ensuring decisions are made by collaborative interest and not a single entity. Now look, Satoshi, according to me, I'm definitely liking this particular initiative. And if you actually do a bit of research using artificial intelligence, guys, it does actually tell you why this was created, and the reason for them is pretty simple. According to OpenUSD, guys, incumbents like Tether and Circle currently dominate the stablecoin market by holding and investing the billions of dollars in reserve that back the tokens, and they are the ones who are pocketing multi-billion-dollar yields for themselves, isn't it? And so far as OpenUSD is concerned, Satoshi, their aim is to cut these proprietary margins, thereby allowing banks, fintechs and merchants to directly participate in the economic benefits of internet-native money movement. This news definitely sounds great, but what about average individual users, Satoshi? Can you tell our listeners, how do average users actually benefit by this?
Average users could benefit from faster and potentially cheaper payments, since the stablecoin removes some intermediaries. It might also improve access to global markets, offering a seamless way to transact across different platforms and services without constant currency conversions. It basically aims to simplify how individuals move money online.
Definitely does, Satoshi. Really interesting move. Now let's go ahead and discuss the next news. And this is connected to a firm in Russell Cayman and UAE-based Goldman Lang Private Bank, guys. They have decided to buy $120 million worth of Bitcoin. And it's clear to say they are taking advantage of the recent market dip to increase its holding. And the bank, in a source that is published by Fidelity, did actually state that the purchase reflects his long-term confidence in Bitcoin and its role as strategic asset. And the chairman Abdullah Hamad Al-Shamsi did actually say that the investment reinforces the bank's commitment to regulatory cryptocurrency services. And as we talked about, guys, this particular bank is based in Russell Cayman. And here's the thing, guys, the bank continues to expanding its crypto offering to high net worthy clients. Now, what do you make of this particular initiative, Satoshi? I think it is definitely great. And what I'm really liking is they are focusing on Bitcoin as a strategic asset. So what do you make of this particular news, Satoshi?
This acquisition by Goldman Labs, George, is a notable move, particularly during a market dip. It really reinforces their stated confidence in Bitcoin as a long-term asset, just as their chairman said. And it's interesting how they're expanding these offerings to their high-net-worth clients, showing a broader trend of institutional private banking interest.
Now look, Satoshi, it is great that they're buying Bitcoin when the prices are falling down. And what I mentioned earlier is that they're looking Bitcoin as a strategic reserve asset. Now, do you want to tell our listeners what are the benefits of having Bitcoin as a strategic asset and what are the negatives as well? Why don't you do one thing, Satoshi? Why don't you tell our listeners the 5 benefits of having Bitcoin as a reserve asset and 5 negatives of having Bitcoin as a strategic reserve asset?
So, George, the benefits of Bitcoin as a reserve asset include its scarcity, potential for high returns, decentralized nature offering independence, high liquidity, and its potential to act as a hedge against inflation. However, on the negative side, you have price volatility, regulatory uncertainties, security risks if not managed properly, potential technological challenges, and the fact that it doesn't generate income like traditional assets. It's quite a balance to consider.
It definitely is quite a balance to consider, but am I right in saying, Satoshi, right now because of the volatility of Bitcoin as well as the price, it is something only big companies, and I'm talking about $1 billion, $1 million, maybe $1 trillion companies can afford to do that. Smaller firms, they won't be able to do that because of the price and also because of the volatility, isn't it? Because look, just in October of last year, the price of Bitcoin was around the $126,000 mark, and right now it is well below the $60,000 mark, isn't it?
You're absolutely right, George. That price volatility and high price point make it a much riskier proposition for smaller firms with less capital to absorb losses. Large organizations with significant reserves are better positioned to handle that kind of market swing. It highlights how the utility of Bitcoin shifts depending on the scale of the investor.
That is absolutely correct, Satoshi. And here's the thing, guys, in the Blockchain DXB podcast, I've already done an interview, I believe it was last year around the same time, and this interview was with the managing director of On Ramina, where we went in and explained what Bitcoin as a reserve asset is, the benefits as well as the negative aspects to it. Now later on this month or probably in the month of August, Satoshi, I'll once again be doing a similar event where we talk about Bitcoin as well as cryptocurrency as a reserve asset. Thank you so much for your valuable inputs. Now let's go ahead and discuss another interesting news, and this is connected to Nasdaq. And the news causes that Nasdaq has joined the PIT network data marketplace, thereby making its total view market data available to on-chain users and financial institutions. And so far as total view is concerned, guys, they provide real-time debt of book data, including order flow, liquidity, and buy and sell imbalances across Nasdaq listed securities. So this partnership, Satoshi, expands access to institutional-grade market data for blockchain applications and algorithmic trading, and Pitgas has said that this particular move supports its goal of making financial data more accessible, programmable, and easier to integrate across modern finance. This, according to me, Satoshi, is a massive news, isn't it? Do you want to tell our listeners the significance of this news and how can traders actually benefit by it as well, please?
Certainly, George. By joining Pyth Network, Nasdaq is making its real-time market data available on-chain, which could be highly beneficial for traders using decentralized finance applications. This increased transparency and access to institutional-grade data can lead to more reliable pricing and better decision-making within blockchain-based trading systems. Essentially, it bridges the gap between traditional finance and the crypto market.
Do you think there are any negative aspects to this as well? Maybe competitors could have a better advantage? What is your thought regarding the negative aspects regarding this news?
This partnership with the Pyth Network makes institutional-grade market data more accessible for blockchain applications, which can benefit traders and developers alike. Traders, for instance, can use this data for more accurate pricing, better decision-making and algorithmic trades, and managing risk more effectively. Regarding negatives, while it certainly boosts accessibility, one potential drawback could be that competitors might gain access to similar data, potentially eroding a proprietary advantage. Or there might be concerns about the quality or latency of the data feed itself in fast-moving markets. It's always a consideration.
Well, thank you so much for your valuable input, Satoshi. Now let's go ahead and discuss the next news, and this is connected to MetaMask. And the news causes that they have launched Money Account, which is a new self-custody feature that combines stablecoin saving payments and trading in one wallet. And here's the thing, guys, they are built on Monad blockchain, and it offers users up to a variable 4% APR by depositing funds into DeFi lending protocols such as Morpho, with Aave support coming in later, and users, guys, can also spend the balances directly using MetaMask card, thereby making crypto easier to use for everyday payments. Now this particular launch, Satoshi, reflects a growing trend of crypto wallets evolving into all-in-one financial apps with banking-style features, isn't it? Definitely massive news. Now what do you make of this news, Satoshi? According to me, look, this news definitely sounds great, but am I right in saying, Satoshi, this initiative should have been done at least 4 to 5 years ago? Because right now, these features are currently already available in the centralized world, isn't it?
This move by MetaMask, George, with features like stablecoin yield and direct spending on their card, is clearly an attempt to make crypto more practical for everyday use. It definitely reflects that trend of wallets becoming more comprehensive financial apps. Regarding the timing, while it's true centralized wallets have offered some of these features, integrating them directly into a self-custody wallet like MetaMask is a different approach, aimed at users who prioritize control. It's part of the ongoing development of decentralized finance.
Now I do have a very specific question, Satoshi. Based on the official announcement, it does actually state that users could actually get up to 4% API, but the big question is, where do you think the 4% API comes from?
The rate is variable, coming from decentralized lending protocols like Morpho, where the deposited funds are utilized. Aave support is expected later.
I know that thing, Satoshi, but here's the thing. If you look at the volume of decentralized finance, the numbers are absolutely horrendous, isn't it? It is almost a quarter of what it was going back to 2019 and 20. So keeping that thing in mind, I do have a bit of apprehensions regarding the 4% interest rate.
That's understandable. Given the reduced volume across decentralized finance, feeling cautious about a variable rate, even one projected at 4%, makes sense. The underlying activity directly impacts those yields, so monitoring that volume trend is valid. You're evaluating the potential risk against the current market conditions.
And talking about potential risk, Satoshi, why don't you do one thing? Why don't you highlight at least 5 dangers or the negative consequences about this particular initiative? Now look, I'm not a detractor of this particular initiative, but here's the thing, guys. This particular move should have been done at least 4 to 5 years ago, but I'll still take it as a win at least for now. But why don't you do one thing, Satoshi? Why don't you highlight some of the dangers associated with this?
Well, George, 5 dangers or negative consequences could include the variable yield dropping significantly, potential regulatory changes impacting its operation, security risks inherent with the underlying blockchain technology and Morpho, a possible loss of peg to the dollar, though backed, and the concentration of control within the large consortium if leadership shifts in a negative way. Those are key factors to keep an eye on.
Definitely key factors to keep an eye on. Thank you so much, Satoshi, for your input. So look, these are some macro level news on the Bitcoin blockchain, cryptocurrency, and artificial intelligence world from blockchain DXB. Now let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go and look at two news from Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East. And the first news cast is regarding Magna AI, an MR executive company. And the news is that they have signed a strategic partnership in Saudi Arabia, and they will build a sovereign AI data center infrastructure across the kingdom. And the partnership will also develop advanced AI factory infrastructure, and the goal is to create secure AI platform that governments and businesses can use. And here's the thing, the project supports Saudi Arabia's national and digital transformation plans, and the partnership could expand into other countries across the MENA region. And so far, sovereign AI data centers is concerned, guys, they keep data, AI models, and operations under local control, and local AI infrastructure improves security, resilience, and digital independence. And AI factories will help train, fine-tune, and deploy advanced AI models. And regarding Magna AI, they will lead AI architecture, security, governance, and platform development. And so far, ZMR executive company is concerned, guys, they will be handling engineering, construction, and system integration for data centers, and they will also manage project delivery, facility support, and also regulatory coordination. And so far, ZMR executive company is concerned, guys, they do bring in internationally certified engineering standards and the local Saudi workflows, and the infrastructure will support governments, enterprises, startups, as well as universities. And the project will focus on energy efficiency, cooling, and sustainable operations, and work includes site selection, feasibility studies, and long-term data center operations. And at the Global AI Show Riyadh 2026, guys, Magna AI showcases sovereign AI solutions as well. Now look, as this particular partnership aims to deliver secure as well as a scalable AI infrastructure aligned with Saudi priorities. This news, Satoshi, is definitely great, isn't it? What do you make of this particular news?
This partnership seems really comprehensive, covering the full spectrum of data center development from location to long-term operations. Focusing on secure, scalable infrastructure aligns directly with Saudi priorities, which I think is a smart strategic move. George, it presents a real plan for delivering on those digital goals. It's part of what makes this partnership stand out.
Now, other areas, Satoshi, you think blockchain technology could actually merge with this news? So do you want to tell our listeners if blockchain technology could actually help in this particular initiative?
Blockchain could definitely play a role in enhancing security and transparency, maybe by managing access to the data centers or tracking data transactions. It could ensure auditability and trust within the whole system, which could be valuable.
Now, why don't you do one thing, Satoshi? If you were to develop, let's say, an open blockchain protocol for this, how would you go about designing an open blockchain protocol, merging with this news regarding Magna AI and MR executive company?
Designing an open blockchain protocol for this partnership would focus on interoperability and scalability. It would need to handle data transactions efficiently, perhaps using a consensus mechanism that balances performance and security, and allow public verification of data authenticity. Maybe a modular design would let them add more participants or features later. It's really about creating a standardized digital foundation.
Well, definitely interesting news, guys. Now let's do one thing. Let's go ahead and discuss the second news. And this is connected to Abu Dhabi Judicial Department. And here's the thing, guys. They have discussed new projects to improve judicial services. And there was a meeting that focused on using AI and digital technology to boost efficiency. And the meeting was chaired by Councillors Yusuf Saeed Al-Abri. And the project supports UAE's vision for a smarter and more advanced judicial system. And the goal, guys, is to deliver faster, more efficient and world-class justice services. And the committee, guys, reviewed the upgrades for communication systems and the mobile app. And here's the thing, guys, the smart AI system will help notaries complete transactions more quickly. And they also have a project called as Legal Judgment Assistant that will support legal research and decision making. And artificial intelligence, guys, will also enhance the public prosecution system. A new digital dashboard and interactive reports will improve court performance tracking. And AI-powered insights will help leaders make better and faster decisions. And AI tools, guys, will analyze and route complaints with greater speed and accuracy. And because of this meeting, faster complaint handling is expected to reduce processing times. And the department, guys, is also exploring AI to improve auction systems. And the new technology aims to increase operational efficiency and business continuity. And look, as information security and cyber security remains top priorities through the AI rollout. and the department will coordinate relevant authorities to strengthen digital protection. And look, as the initiative, according to me, reflects Abu Dhabi's commitment to using AI to modernize the judicial system. This news, according to me, Satoshi, is definitely great. Now, can you tell our listeners, are there any city or states or courts in other parts of the world that are working on something similar, where they're using artificial intelligence for judicial services?
Regarding your question, yes, or another city would be Singapore, which also employs AI in its courts for tasks like small claims processing and transcribing arguments. Some states in the US have also experimented with AI tools for risk assessment during pretrial stages. It's a growing area overall.
Now, if there is any advice you'd like to give them, assuming you're the AI advisor to Abu Dhabi Judicial Department, what advice you'd like to give them, and why don't you make at least 6 advices for them, Satoshi?
I would suggest focusing on ensuring robust data privacy and security measures, prioritizing ongoing training for staff, establishing clear ethical guidelines, thoroughly testing algorithms for bias, developing clear backup protocols, and maintaining a focus on human oversight in critical decisions. It's about balancing technology with accountability. Given the direction of those new projects, my advice would be to prioritize maintaining high data quality and security throughout all systems. They should carefully monitor for algorithmic bias to ensure fairness in outcomes, invest in continuous training for staff to keep up with the new tech, establish clear governance standards for how AI is applied, gather regular feedback from those using the system, like notaries or the public, and consider potential scalability challenges in advance as adoption grows. Focusing on those aspects could strengthen their initiative.
Well, thank you so much for your valuable insights, Satoshi. So these were the newscasts on the Bitcoin blockchain, cryptocurrency, and artificial intelligence world from Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go ahead and kickstart with the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go ahead and kickstart with the Ask Me Anything series, alright?
Sure, George. Let's go ahead and kickstart the Ask Me Anything series. I'm curious to check what questions listeners have in store for us.
Hey everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXB podcast, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And we have a question from Sharon who asks, is MetaMask becoming a fully digital bank rather than a crypto wallet? This, to be honest, Satoshi, is a really interesting question, isn't it? What is your take regarding Sharon's question?
That's a fascinating perspective from Sharon. Instead of just holding assets like a wallet, the idea suggests the MetaMask itself is evolving into a platform providing financial services, like investment, lending, or commerce, much like a bank, all within that virtual space. It's pushing the boundaries of what we expect. This evolution could redefine the very purpose of crypto interfaces, moving from simple storage to gateways for entire digital economies. It will be key to see how user convenience balances with security concerns.
That is true, Satoshi, but what she's asking is MetaMask becoming a fully digital bank? Now, the answer to that, according to me, is definitely no, because they're definitely not a traditional bank. And here's the thing, Sharon, MetaMask is expanding beyond a crypto wallet, but it isn't a licensed bank or digital bank yet. Now, granted, they do have banking-like features, and the new money account does actually combine self-custody, stablecoin savings as well, I believe, DeFi yields and payments all in one app, but I do feel it is different to a bank, isn't it? Because here's the thing, Sharon, you control your funds, and unlike a bank, your assets remain in your own wallet. This gives you full ownership and control, isn't it? And more importantly, look, Sharon, users like you and me can earn returns by depositing stablecoins into DeFi lending protocols like Morpho, and probably something more in the near future. And more importantly, look, they also have a MetaMask card that does actually let users spend the crypto and stablecoins for everyday purchases when supported. This particular area does actually align with a bank, but other than that, I don't think so that MetaMask is working similar to a bank. Rather, it is evolving into an all-in-one financial platform where users like you and me can save, own, spend and invest without relying on traditional banks. That is what my honest opinion is, Satoshi.
I agree, George. You hit the nail on the head when you mentioned that users retain full control of their assets in a self-custody wallet like MetaMask, which is a major difference from a bank. While they're adding banking-like services, they aren't taking on the fundamental role of holding deposits and making loans as a traditional entity. It's more of a gateway to various decentralized financial tools. That's a key distinction for Sharon to consider.
Now, Satoshi, let me ask you, do you think because of this initiative, governments all over the world will slowly start putting restrictions on the use of MetaMask? And if they do that, how tough would it be for them to go and implement regulations because it is connected to a browser, isn't it?
Government restrictions could become a factor, especially as MetaMask offers more features that look like traditional finance, because regulators might want to apply the same rules to those activities. Implementing those could be difficult, though, because non-custodial wallets like MetaMask are decentralized and don't function the way a single bank does, making direct oversight more challenging. They might try to regulate the points where traditional currencies interact with the service or the companies providing those specific features. It's definitely an area with potential for future development.
Well, definitely great point, Satoshi, and I'm pretty much all over the world. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on MetaMask, and definitely great question, Sharon. And that's about all, guys. I'm the Ask Me Anything Sees on Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Remember, Monday to Thursdays via Blockchain DXB podcast. We look at the process, we look at the latest technological development, we talk about geopolitics and politics and politicians, guys. They directly and indirectly impact the price, as well as the future trajectory and direction of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Then, guys, you look at 2 news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. We look at the latest technological development. Artificial intelligence is definitely a hot topic in the Middle East. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. Thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice and bye-bye.